One, two, three.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Jumpseat Podcast. It's been a minute. I've had to take a little break. So today's episode is going to be really interesting because I'm going to share a little bit of like what I've been going through in the last few weeks. And this episode is all about like when you feel like you're doing everything right, but still feel like you're losing. It can be really frustrating because it's like you're navigating all these areas of your life. You're taking responsibility. You're taking accountability for things in your life. You feel like you're on top of things. And then, of course, life happens, and that happens to us all. We find ourselves in predicaments all the time, right? Whether it was from ourselves or someone else, life happens. And it's so cliche to say, right? Everyone knows life happens. You live your life, and stuff goes on, okay? So I've been experiencing a lot of exhaustion and the financial stress of everything and the stuff that I'm going through in my life. I've not shared publicly everything that I've been going through because personally I just don't feel like I want to. It's not a space for me to share any of that right now. And I'm also kind of navigating through a big life-altering situation. So I've been trying to tread lightly in that and then also be a little bit more, what's the word? I guess aware of my surroundings and protecting my own energy, and as well as like trying to be a lot more positive and the situation instead of like overdoing it or just being miserable or frustrated over it or using my old patterns over things. Like I'm already feeling like a totally different person, and making these choices that I've made in my life recently is building me back up into that even more so. So I want to continue that in my life and just continue taking responsibility no matter how much it feels like I'm losing, right? So I want to preface this with like kind of asking a question to everyone. So have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, paying your bills, handling like life's crazy challenges that are coming your way, all the responsibilities, you're taking responsibility, you're taking accountability and like working towards everything you're doing. You're growing, you can kind of see your progress and your growth. You're like, oh, I'm doing really good. And somehow you just feel like you just keep getting hit anyways. Like no matter what you do, you just feel like you're just being beat down when you're already down. And it could be just really exhausting. And if that's something that you resonate with right now, I want to give you some words of encouragement because keep going at it, keep being resilient, keep being responsible for yourself in ways that you can, and give yourself grace again. Like I apparently have episodes multiple times about that because it's like I can't preface that enough to just take care of yourself and just don't feel bad about every little thing in your life. Not everything in your life that's going bad is just because of a choice that you made. Things in life just kind of happen, and I think we have made these conditions around what maybe be going wrong in our life because of religious backgrounds. I mean, at least for me, it seems like I used to kind of grow up in this mentality of like, oh, okay, well, if you're not making enough money, that means that you haven't been tithing enough, or it means that you haven't been coming to church enough, or you haven't been showing up to events or whatever. And then as I stepped away from all that religion and like background of that, I realized that was just a big form of control. And I want to say like maybe people really knew they were doing that. Like probably the church that I went to, I don't think they really fully were aware they were doing that. However, and so like no foul harm on anyone. But I think we tend to do that with our friends too. It's like, okay, well, this and this bad happened to them, and we just throw karma on it all. When it's like, I get karma, but it's also like we have this negative, I don't know, outlook on it. And it's like, I think it's just what comes around comes around. And it's not on our doing, it's lessons to be learned. And I think the universe has a language on teaching us that. And it's not about condemnation and beating you down because you weren't good enough or you weren't, that's an old mindset, an old system that's got to go away with. This all part of the ego trying to survive in these bodies in this realm of like, what do I have to do to get what I want in this world? And it's like lie, steal, compete, I don't think that's really where we need to be going with things. So for me, I've been able to shift out of that and kind of come into this new part of myself that's taking responsibility and accountability. And when I see those things, it's really easy to try to beat myself up and say like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I'm going anywhere or getting anywhere with this. But I will tell you this, out of everything that's happened in my life, the reason why I want to talk about this is I just recently had my car got sideswiped, parked on the street. And I personally don't like to park on the street in my home because people drive up and down my street like crazy. And I just don't feel like I should always park there. However, I've been here for 4 years. I've parked on the street multiple times and nothing's ever happened to my car. Well, one night after I got off work at around 12 a.m., I was like, I'm tired. I know my sister and my spouse is probably going to have to get up in the morning real early to go to work. And I don't have work until the next day. So I'm just going to park on the street so they don't have to worry about moving my car. And, or waking up in the morning to move it for them or whatever. I was just trying to be considerate. And I parked my car on the street and went to bed, woke up kind of late, slept in because I needed to sleep in. I was tired. Woke up with this big gash in my car. Dent. I'll show you a picture of this video. It's been really frustrating because I'm like here taking responsibility, come up with a plan to get out of my debt, right? And just really take ownership of my responsibilities and things that I've given away to other people or made it someone else's fault or someone else's problem or blame them for why I am and where I'm at. Where it's just me that I'm responsible for the predicament that I'm in. So, and now that I'm like taking the actions on like working on myself and getting there and feeling like fulfilled in certain things because I'm like, oh, I can see my progress. And then this happens. And the crazy thing is I'm still just like, oh my gosh. But for some reason, when that happened, I was like super mad, super frustrated. And then another thing happened right after that, and it's just like, I got to a point where I just kind of sat there and laughed. I was like, I don't really feel any way about this. And I just started kind of reflecting after I got the car in the shop, took accountability, took responsibility, and got it to did the police report because it was a hit and run accident, right? So I didn't see who did it. There was no remnants of the car that hit me, right? So there wasn't any way to like really share anything with the police other than just making the police report saying this happened. And I did that and then contacted my insurance company, and oh my God, USAA, hallelujah, was amazing. So if I could sponsor them on this show, I would, because they were so helpful. Thank God for the military and all that as well. Thank you for everyone who serves. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, it was amazing because they just handled everything really quick. And not only did they just handle everything very well, they also spoke to me like a person and actually did some I was going through a really rough time, and to be able to open up and talk to them, they told me all my options, but also listen to me and let me know, let me say what was going on in my life. And it felt like a counseling session in a positive way of you got this. And it was just really, really powerful. And I am so grateful though that it was an unfortunate event that happened, right? That led me to talk to these people for my insurance company, right? But however, it's gotten taken care of. I got my car in the shop within a day. Juggling this as a flight attendant is so stressful. So for any of you who are flight attendants out there, oh my gosh, you know how this is when you have life events happen and you don't have family or anyone really there to help take care of things that I was used to when I was, things in my life, right? When I kind of relied on my spouse for things, and now that I'm relying on myself and not allowing other people to do for me, and not in a bad way, just I need to take responsibility and accountability to my stuff. And so I was just you know what, I got to figure this out. If I'm by myself, I'm going to figure this out. And so I just did. I just took action and got it taken care of. And though it had to be really rough with work actually worked with me. So that was fun. That was nice. I've left messages for my manager, and I also covered every base that I can. I've actually not had any messages back from my manager for everything. So if work wants to give me points and all this kind of stuff for taking care of my business at home, emergencies, then I don't want to work for a company that's going to treat their employees like that. Like I don't have to be there, have a miserable airline or whatever. That's my thought on that. Like I am here and I'm giving all my best. I'm giving everything I can for this company, but if they can't honor life events for me, then by peace. However, they've done a lot. Like when I talk directly to the company, crew scheduling and all that, they have been so amazing. They've just been like, yeah, it's okay. Just talk with your manager. They'll recode these sick things or whatever you're having with life events. So we got you taken care of. You're okay. So it was really nice to know that I'm reassured with my job to have to be okay. And it's also showed my growth because I've also just like not been playing the victim of like, oh my God, this job is doing this and this to me. Like, no, it's a great job. And just like, I'm no longer just putting blame on everything. I'm just now taking accountability and responsibility for my actions and for the things that I have to do in my life to continue going forward and growing. So that's where I've been up with that. That's where I've been at with that. So I just wanted to share a little bit of where I've been the last few weeks and encourage you all to continue taking accountability for yourself and responsibility for the things in your life that may be unfolding in a way of like empowerment, not in a way that's like shameful of like, oh, well, this happened to me because X, Y, and Z, you know, I didn't do this and this enough, or oh my gosh, this is happening to me. It's the universe telling me, you know, kind of just throw all that crap out the window. And it even goes down to like spiritual things. There's so many times where I go very spiritual and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's great. And the universe is teaching me this and this and this. But why does it always have to be something when sometimes it's like things just happen? Just let them be that what they are and don't have a story tied to it, right? I think for me anyways, take everything for, like I say again, for a grain of salt, but like I just kind of like to think of it, just it is what it is. Stop analyzing it so much and just take care of what you got to take care of. I was reminded of that again and just said, you know what, this is where I'm at, this is what I got to do, just do it. I got to pay. And it was great. Actually, my deductibles was going to be $1,000 without the police report. With the police report, it was only $250. Great. Got my car fixed within like 2 weeks. And it was rough having to like juggle the job with also returning the car rental that I had. Had to take off work for that too. But, you know, I just feel very empowered. I'm very proud of myself to just no longer tie myself to these stories in a negative light, but just also just see the growth that I've made. And when more things happen within all that, the stuff, the way I was juggling things with work, it didn't really bother me. I mean, I think there was moments that I really got frustrated in the moment, right? And just said, oh my gosh, screw this. This is so frustrating or whatever. But, you know, my process is like letting it all out. And the more I take responsibility and accountability to myself, I'm also doing that for other people. So I've been giving no ends for anyone to attack me in any way. I'm just covering all my bases, getting with every aspect that I possibly can to, I don't know, just get everything done correctly so no one can come back and say, oh, well, you didn't do this, this, and this. You should have done this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, well, so I'm doing things a little ahead of time so that doesn't come up, right? And that, again, is like just showing my growth through the things that I've been through. And it's not out of fear or out of like, oh, I'm afraid this and this is going to happen. It's just like, no, just I know now, I know better. And like, why repeat things that I don't really have to repeat learning, right? And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys a little bit today. But just wanted to give you guys some encouragement. Just keep taking accountability, responsibility for yourself and and the actions that you may cause others, or you know, what things are affecting your life. But do it with grace. Do it with love. Do it with compassion. Do it with like, oh, okay, well, that I didn't know that, but that's okay. Let me just take care of it now, right? And don't tie anything else on top of it. Don't be like, oh, okay, I got to do that, but oh, I wish I didn't have to. Like this is gonna mess me up for this, and you just go down these spirals. Eliminate those spirals and just say, you know what, this is what I got to do. This is happening to me right now. However, I just feel all I need to feel. Go through all the emotions I got to go through, and take action. And the more I've been doing that in my life recently, I just feel so much more, I feel way more grounded and just more level-headed to everyone around me. And I don't know, I feel good. I feel grateful, and I'm finding more love for myself through all of it and everyone around me. And it's just amazing how the world around me just kind of is created around this new viewpoint of love and compassion instead of hate, frustration, victim mentality. So yeah, that's it for now. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I love everything that you do. Appreciate everything that you do. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you like any of these videos, just feel free to keep sharing and share this with your friends. And I would love to get back into interviewing flight attendants and pilots. I met a pilot the other day who was willing to like kind of probably jump on board and do an episode with me. So I'm really excited. He helps other pilots or other soon-to-be pilots navigate through the hiring stages and stuff. So I would really love to hear from you guys, what you guys think, what you would like to see on the podcast. And stay tuned for more. My app, like I said, is almost done. It's just these little fine-tune things that I gotta fix in it, and then I'll get that back out as well. So that's it for now. Love you all so much. Have a great weekend. It's almost the weekend. And I will talk to you guys later. Love, peace, and unity.